Peace, family. You know, this Donald Trump administration, just about every day is something going on. It is impossible to keep up with the shenanigans going on in this administration. But before I address that, I want to make another point about this Hope Bryant and his analysis that the reason why the blacks don't have what they have fairly in this country is because the system is incomplete. And my issue with that is this. Before whites came here, there was indigenous people already living here. There were some black people already living here. How was it that when whites got here and enslaved black people, and when they forced this country in 1776, how is it that the rights, freedoms, and privileges of black people were not addressed when this system was first initiated? And we see since then, every other nationality has had their issues addressed. The indigenous people, the Asians, the Arabs, the Chaldeans, the whoever comes to the LGBTQ. How is it that Hope Bryant is able to tell his followers that this system is incomplete? It would be as if black people were the last ones to show up in this country, when in actuality we were the first. So at best, this system is not incomplete. It is intentional. At best, this system is not incomplete. It has a hole in it, where it has skipped right over industrializing the rights, freedoms, and privileges into the system. And see, and John Hope's assumption, or what he tells his people, is that it's up to the young, the youth, not the elders, not the business savvy, not the ones who are responsible for paying bills, going out working, the example setters of our society. He wants the youth to be the ones to complete it. But before I address that point, let me say this. Hope Bryant, you said that this system is not broken, it is incomplete. If you cannot address a problem, if you cannot see a problem, how do you have a clue on how to fix it? Whether this system is incomplete or broken, the fact of the matter is it has not served black people, period. And your definition of broken or incomplete, is a system broken or incomplete when you can have a person like Donald Trump run for president of the United States that has a history of filing bankruptcy 6 times, bankrupt several businesses, had a charity taken away from him because he was stealing from cancer children stricken with cancer. A man that grabs women by the crotch just because he's a celebrity. Unqualified to get a loan within the United States. If a person like this can run for president of the United States, is the system incomplete or is it broken? And before I get away from that, now that we know Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, and his name has been mentioned in here over 40 years. Over 40 years his name has been in the Epstein files. How was this man allowed to run in this system, whether the system was broken or incomplete? How was this man able to run for president of the United States? Was this system broken or incomplete when, despite all this information about Donald Trump, once he won president of the United States, impeached twice, is this system broken or incomplete when he's able to run again for president and win? Be elected back into the White House after leaving his first term, stealing presidential papers, top secret documents, refusing to return them. And not only is he do we win the election again, But this time they give him immunity against crimes he may commit while is that the sign of a broken or incomplete system? And now, to address your issue when you said that the youth should complete this project, and to what do they attach it to? Once they create a system to address the needs and interests of black people, what do they do to it? Do they go off and continue on their own? Or do they attach it to a broken or incomplete system that has totally disregarded the needs and interests of black people? Who in their right mind will want to attach this system, a complete system, to address our needs, to this failed broken one? And then once this new system starts to straighten out or move the needle and bend the arc back to us being unjust, being underpaid, underprioritized, when it starts to shift and right all the wrongs that have been attributed to our people, and you start to see that arc bending the other way, tell me, John Hope Bryant, what courts, what government is going to politic on our behalf to protect our needs and interests? You think this government is going to pass laws and legislation to protect the progress of our people? Do you think the courts is going to punish those who try to oppose our progress and keep this correction going? Is this what you're telling your followers, John Hope Bryant? And another thing, ask yourself, if this system was either broken or incomplete, how is it that they were able to get black people to follow along in it? How do you do a roll call of everybody who has benefited from this system? The whites, the Arabs, the Asians, the Chaldeans, the indigenous people. But you see nothing for blacks. How are you able to force them or to get them to come along, even though there's nothing specified to address their needs, to protect their interests, to protect their prosperity? How are black people able to be included in this system and forced to go along with it? It reminds me of this episode of Law and Order, where this father who was filing divorce from his wife, and he didn't want the wife to be the mother of his children. So he violated the court order, took the children for themselves, moved to another state. And when they finally found this guy, like 10 years later, he had mind controlled them so completely that he had 2 daughters, a wife, and when the court asked about if they have arguments, disagreements, or anything, they had none. There was no differences of opinion whatsoever. You know why? Because this man had gave up other jobs that could have paid more money to find a job so he could work at home and be a constant presence in their life. There was no negotiation. There was no meeting each other halfway. It was his way or no way. When I saw that episode, I'm thinking to myself, this is exactly how white people force this system on our people. There was no negotiation. There was no, if you don't like it, leave. You force black people to participate in this system. And this is what's going on today. So John Hope Bryant, how do you tell your followers to attach their system to this when if blacks don't like it this way, they're persecuted, they're thrown in jail, they're ridiculed, they're not allowed to assemble any sign of independence, individuality, or nothing. No independent businesses, no industries, institutions to address their need. You either do it the white people way or no way at all. This is the message that you get from John Hope Bryant. This is what he ignored when he talked to his people, his followers. You know what? This is just so frustrating that this guy can get support and get on TV and be interviewed like his opinion really matters. And this is the guy that y'all call, say he be dropping gems. Like, he get the F out of here. But you know what? I'm going to end this video here. And as always, these are my thoughts, my opinions. I invite you to leave yours in the comments. And I'll see you in my next video.